And now it is my utmost privilege to introduce the guest of honor for this event, a visionary leader, a serial entrepreneur, and a pillar of India's startup ecosystem, Mr. Srinivas Mahankali Rao. He served as the CEO of T-Hub from October 2021 to October 2024, where he spearheaded its evolution into India's largest startup incubator, nurturing countless founders and bold ideas.
With over 35 years of experiences in the IT industry, he co-founded the cybersecurity firm Aegis, which later saw a successful acquisition by NSEIT in 2019, a true testament to his entrepreneurial foresight. He has also led the Global Alliance for Mass Entrepreneurship, better known as Game Playing, a vital role in driving inclusive across the country. Today, Mr. Rao continues to shape minds and mentor leaders through his roles as an advisor and a faculty at ASCI and IIM Raipur. Please join me in giving a round of applause as we welcome the guest of honor, Mr. Srinivas Mahankali Rao, to share a few words with us. Sir, please.
Business lines. I would request her to please be on stage and host this session.
Good evening. I am Shiruti, the Festival Coordinator for the Business Literature Festival Hyderabad 2025. And it gives me great joy to welcome you all to the most meaningful segments of our festival, the book launch series. This segment has been a much loved tradition at our Bangalore edition, and this year we are proud to extend it to our Hyderabad debut. The idea behind this segment is to offer deserving authors an accessible platform, visibility, and for stories that deserve more light. I'm honored to have our guests of honor, Mr. M. Srinivas Rao and Mr. Gurucharan Das. Yes, I'd invite Mr. Gurucharan Das to come on stage and be seated. Welcome, sir. Our first book launch is close to our hearts. It's authored by our own festival advisor, Mr. Sudhakar Rao, along with co-author, Mr. V. Pattabhi. The book titled First Forever, NJ Yasaswy, They Don't Make Them Like Him Anymore. It's a biography of the visionary educationist, Shri NJ Yasaswy, the founder of the ICFAI group. One line from the book stood out for me personally. I'd like to read it out. It says, "This is the story of NJ Yasaswy, a story of grit, vision, and a sprinkle of audacity the kind that makes you believe in the impossible." Now that's a powerful way to begin a life story, and that's how the book starts. Please welcome the authors on the stage, Mr. Sudhakar Rao, Director of Branding at ICFAI and our Festival Advisor, and Mr. V. Pattabhi, a CA by qualification, but more famously, a teacher and a writer. I now request Mr. M. Srinivas Rao and Gurucharan Das to unveil the book with the authors. A huge round of applause. The book is being officially launched here.
Nobody can see that, no? Can you please turn back and see what they are doing? Turn. You guys are doing that. There is. Thank you, sir. Come forward.
And to take this forward, I now invite Mr. Somasekhar, former associate editor at the Hindu Business Line, to join the authors for a short discussion.
That are packed for the second release and the third release be ready. Yeah, the second one now. Yeah. Third one is a visual which will be displayed.
Okay, next up is a book that takes us from biography to storytelling. Diviseema Business Fables, a unique collection of business lessons told through stories rooted in the Diviseema region. Co-authored by yet again Mr. Sudhakar Rao, but this time with Mr. Hari Paruchuri. This book brings storytelling and business thinking together in a beautifully simple way.
Where is Hari?
I'd like
English. Thank you. Thank you. Let's talk about Mr. Somasekhar to come on stage. We'll start the conversation. Yeah.
Hall. A warm welcome also to the authors whose books have been released by my good friend M. Srinivas Rao, for whom I think IT T-Hub was home turf till very recently. And also Mr. Gursharan Das, thank you very much for doing the honors this afternoon. To begin, I think we have around 20 minutes. I think few minutes were lost finding a chair, but I'll do very quickly a little bit of intro on the two books that have been released. I was fortunate to know Mr. Yasaswy since the mid-80s. And the first time I heard about him was interestingly in a quiz competition. There was a question asked in one of the quizzes I attended, who was the youngest and topper of CA and also a gold medalist from Hyderabad. Another question related was, who was the first doctor to score the highest rank in UPSC? The answer was, for one, N.J. Yasaswy. The second answer was Dr. Jayaprakash Narayan, who had scored the 4th rank in 1975, which was the highest by a professional doctor at that point of time. So I remembered Yasaswy as somebody who appeared in a quiz competition, but very soon in the early 80s, I met him. He had started a small magazine, a news, and then some of my friends here also are familiar with that. Then I found the energy, the vision that Yasaswy had, and he started a course in financial that is 1-year course for ICFAI, financial management, which became very, very popular. However, I think his contribution will be known for a very, very long time to be the pioneer in private education in India, especially higher education. And today, ICFAI is one of the most well-known brands in higher education in the private sector. It is all thanks to Yasaswy's vision. Now, this book, written by the two authors, Sudhakar Rao and Pattabhi, has done its best to bring together the life, vision, and contribution of Yasaswy in an easy to read format. I appreciate and congratulate you for bringing it together into a book form. Now, I have one or two questions before we go to the audience. Now, the interesting thing about Mr. Yasaswy that the book has title is NJ Yasaswy. They don't make them like him anymore. Okay. Now, what makes you say this?
To continue from your quiz question, university first in his graduation, ICWA intermediate first rank, all India first, ICWA final, all India first, CA intermediate, all India first, CA final, all India first. This is a Bradman's record, which is never ever going to be broken. I've taught CA students for the last 25 years. I know it's just not going to be broken. That's one. Two is that there would naturally be the thought that someone who is so academically brilliant cannot be an entrepreneur. And Mr. Yasaswy, I think, has proved people completely wrong. Setting up the ICFAI group at a time when India was a closed, protected economy. We were not a market-driven economy. ICFAI started somewhere in 1985. And today we are looking at 11 universities across the country, predominantly in the Northeast, many business schools, many technology schools, and as his daughter once told us when they started Republic School, she said, just like what my father had all along done everything, he wanted to do multiple schools. So for a man who can think on sheer scale, be academically brilliant, and those who have interacted with him will tell that he has been a great motivator, I think it's very, very difficult to get a man like him anymore.
So, unfortunately, a visionary like him passed away in 2011 at a very young age of 60 compared to the standards today. Now, he was a visionary, no doubt. He saw a lot of things in higher education. Having delved into his life, researched. Now, how do you think Mr. Yasaswy would have thought or, tackle the present challenge that AI, the new technologies that are, really posing a lot of challenges to higher education. How do you think he would have reshaped ICFAI or, his own vision? How do you think he would have answered this challenge?
I think we dearly call him NJY, NJ Yasaswy, so we used to call him NJY. I'll stick to NJY. AI is part of ICFAI, ICFAI. Okay, we used this social media campaign when we launched BTech in AI. We just put a dot after F and we said AI is integral to ICFAI. That apart, I think his consumption of technology, adaptability to emerging things, and ability to see things which are actually not as clear as now about things that would come 20 years later was pretty high. I think given his farsightedness, adaptability towards AI, and then putting cutting edge technology in running our enterprise was already there. So I think he would have very beautifully, smartly, and smooth and seamlessly converted the organization into harnessing the benefit of AI very, very well.
Okay. Now, what is the most striking feature that you found in his personality that perhaps you could narrate to youth and present day entrepreneurs and present startup people? Because at long time ago he really did all this. So what important personal trait that you discovered or found that you could narrate to people in this auditorium?
Okay, I'll tell one and then I'll ask Pattabhi sir to narrate a few more. Okay. So the point here is that this book was written by Mr. Pattabhi Ram completely, and I'm called co-author because a few of my expressions were recorded in audio and later used again beautifully. When I looked at those expressions, I thought, did I say this? It was written so beautifully. So credit goes to Pattabhi sir. A big round of applause to him. I am only basking in the glory of NJY and Pattabhi Ram. Okay. But then I'll tell you something about the personality. It's widely known that it's a magnetic personality, but I had the good fortune of working with him, sitting on the same table, trying to understand his leadership, vision, and people sense cutting across beautifully every single day. He used to hold about 6 to 7 review meetings on a daily basis, average, and leave the office by 6 p.m. sharp and start the office at 10 a.m. sharp. In every meeting, he would come across as if he belonged to our department. He would delve into it so much. He would address the problems. He would give you the solutions. And then it looks like, he was completely aware of our department in a division in a manner that, he was actually living and working in the same division, although he was overseeing about 25 other departments as well. The radiance, physically also used to appear quite radiant, very shining with brilliance and all. It was a big motivating factor. But more importantly, his problem-solving ability to come to your level. He was very, very sharp. In informal language, we used to call it as tandoor. Mr. Ramappa will agree with me that people waiting outside for their turn of review will be checking with office boy, how is it going inside? Pretty hot chal raha hai, sir. AC has been reduced to 16. It was 16. As per the diktat, it was 16 centigrade. So reviews are merciless, very, very rigorous reviews, but at the same time, solution-oriented review was hallmark, and he would solve all the problems for you as if he was working with you. That is one. Second, he can see the future much better than many other people, and he has a structure in his mind for solutions, and he believed that that structure is largely 90% of that should come from the people. Therefore, he would identify those people appropriately, put them very carefully, and then brief them nicely, and then they would go for it. He would have a number one very clear in his mind and a number two of that department very clear in his mind. So he would tell those two individuals that you are number one and you are number two, because it has its own magic and beauty of working with clearly known number one and number two. These are some of the aspects. And then he told me one day when I was sharing some problems with him, said, Sudhakar, I think you should be a little detached. You seem to be more involved in all these things. You should stay a little detached. I said, how? It's theoretical, sir. You are actually straddling some 30 divisions and handling so much government, non-government and future projects. And then you are leaving the office at 6 o'clock. Do you think you will not think about the office from 6 to next day 10 a.m.? No. You will understand what I am saying after you lose your little more hair and also when it becomes gray. To answer my friend Chandru's question, I am waiting for my hair also to go and also waiting for it to turn gray. Then probably I will reach where you have expected me to reach.
One of the things that I found in the book, I think fully not covered, is the struggles that Mr. Yasaswy faced, and some of the problems he landed, some of the controversies that he got into, and how he really got over it, virtually re-emerged and became a big name in the country itself. And the way he really foresaw, I think perhaps you should have deep dived more into that, which would have formed good examples for people who read the book. I'm sure you will try to do it, or you have any explanation for that.
We have a first and foremost is one of his greatest attributes has been that he has never been rattled by failure. I can take the liberty of saying this because I'm an external person. If he has tried 10 projects, maybe 7 projects failed. And he has had more share of failures than many people. But whatever worked for him worked outstandingly well. And he didn't keep that in the back of his mind, oh, this has failed. He wasn't autobiographical, saying that project failed, so maybe the next one would fail one. In terms of coverage of all these failed projects, or many of these, what people might call failed projects, although he claimed that they were all experiences, we are covering it out in a larger book. There is a more 3-dimensional book that we are coming out with in December, which Rupa is publishing. And in that we talk about many of the things that you actually said. This was a book that had to be conceived and written in, 10 or 15 days time? And the governor of Uttarakhand, I believe, called ICFAI and said, we want this book released by the year end. That was on December 25th. When Sudhakar got in touch with me, I said, no books are written in 15 days time. We will at best do a 20-page stuff. He said, no, we must do 90 pages, 86 pages. So you are a journalist, you know best. So I said, we will talk about 20,000 words. So because these pages can be anything. And it was done, by the 5th of January, it was done and through. Then we had a long cycle of getting multiple governors write messages, because the ICFAI university is in multiple universities, multiple states. And that is why it is happening today.
Anyway, I hope,
one more point. The project name of the book that is going to be published by Rupa in November, December is called The Man Who Saw Tomorrow.
yeah. Anyway, I hope all those failures and how he overcame, I think will be wonderful lessons, because we are used to writing a lot of success stories.
Correct.
And success stories do not give so much of depth of information as failures and then successes. And quickly I'll go to the second book also, and Sudhakar is a common author for both the books. The second is titled Diviseema. Now, for most people in Andhra and Telangana, when you see Diviseema, it doesn't give a good connotation. For those who do not know, Diviseema in 1977 hit global headlines or national headlines because of a cyclone that devastated a region in Andhra Pradesh called Divi, that place. So 25,000 people died and all that. I was amused and suddenly found how the authors got a title, Diviseema, for a book which is intended I feel as a good experiment of writing about business in the form of stories or fables. So what is the intent behind coming out with a title named Diviseema?
Okay. First of all, it's not a title. It's expected to be a series. Okay. So we needed something which will stay through, tomorrow there might be an innovation themed pack or whatever. One, phonetically we needed a name which sounds good. Okay. Tolkien has his Middle Earth. C.S. Lewis has his Narnia. We wanted something Indian. Okay, we belong to the Telugu world. We got this name and then we said, yeah, sounds good, fits everything. Why not? There's nothing more than that. Seriously.
Okay.
Now that we got your attention, let's talk about business fables.
Yeah.
No.
That's the more the thing.
Now again, how did you chance on choosing fables or stories for a serious thing like business? A lot of money, strategy, management. There's a lot of jargon in business.
Yeah.
So why do you think this format will sell for a serious subject?
Actually, it was not about business. The whole question was around a larger question that I and Sudhakar were discussing over coffee morning and things like those. And then it was like, kids at 7th class, 8th class, 9th class are familiar with maths. It doesn't mean that everybody will become a mathematician. They get familiar with history, they get familiar with civics. It's not like everybody learns constitution or becomes a politician or becomes an IAS officer or anything like that. So the question is, why is there not something that, on business that is possible? That was only question asked. After the question was asked, it took almost 2 months by the time that the idea struck. Oh, you just need to take the format of Aesop's Fables and then throw Peter Drucker inside it.
Oh, okay.
Okay. And what you see is what you see.
Okay, good.
But again, when it happens, it's so simple.
But anyway, I think you are on the right track. Even in journalism today, we are now talking about narrative journalism, storytelling. Although most news is becoming stories. But the narrative style or the storytelling format perhaps is a way forward to be more people reading, especially the younger audience that you are targeted for the book, which is 8 to 14. Okay.
Yeah. See, I've been a creative director, founder with an advertising agency. We ran it for around 25, 26 years. So the narrative storytelling that's now in vogue has always been there with us as a business. So, it's never appeared new. Okay, it's in a new format, agreed.
Yeah, any questions from the audience?
Yeah,
I
just
think
one point, sir, before we close it also, that time is, we'll take questions definitely, if you raise hands. So the strategy behind getting on to this kind of a genre is to produce something which is useful to the youngsters. How do we take entrepreneurship, for example, pretty early in the game? We are trying to prime these youngsters of age 8 to 14 with entrepreneurial mindset, with leadership skills, with problem solving, critical thinking, empathy, so on and so forth, by using characters of animals. The next book or the series of books that Hari was hinting at very subtly is to get into the ladder maybe a few years older than this 14, say 16 to 18, another book. But everywhere there is a little bit of a fiction around it. The storytelling needs an imaginary land, and that imaginary land is named Diviseema because once upon a time my co-author was born in that place. This secret was not let known to you. He was waiting for me to say this, but it's okay. But imaginary land is required for these youngsters to actually picture them around, and then what appeals to the next category of say 16 to 18 and start telling a little more serious stories. That is little more rigorous problems that they handle. But what we are trying to prime them before they join any undergrad course or before they join any entrepreneurial school like Bauer School of Entrepreneurship or someone else, to be ready with all these things. It's not like, we were only taught maths, physics and chemistry, history, civics, so on and so forth, but never on entrepreneurship, never on leadership, never on critical thinking. Those things we are addressing. It's a wide gap. More than looking good about it, it is a very carefully thought through strategy for us to occupy that gap. And then these series of books will be published over a period of say couple of years from now. And we hope to have Business Literature Festival being hosted in India, both in Hyderabad, Bangalore and elsewhere. And we seek opportunities to present those books every time we do.
Okay. Yeah. Any questions from the audience are welcome. You can raise your hand and.
Questions?
Yeah.
So my question is, when you come up with this series, so it is like the series can be read in continuation, or is it like as you're mentioning the age bracket, like 8 to 14 is the volume 1 and volume A and volume B? Is it of that?
No, there's no continuity as far as, it's not a novel. for continuity's sake, you miss a story. These are all discrete, independent stories. Even within this book, the 17 stories that you have, you can start from anywhere and go anywhere. So that's a different book series altogether. So you can, it is independent of this book.
Okay.
No? Thank
Nice.
you.
Thank you.
Yes, sir. Sanjay. You don't need mics.
I was really not aware that he also had such excellent academic qualifications earlier than that, because the ICFAI course was started with one of my professors from IIM Bangalore, I think Narayan Murthy, Narayan Swami, I always mix up the
Prasanna
names.
Chandra.
Prasanna Chandra, yes, PC.
You're
So-
forgetting your teachers?
Unfortunately, because it's been so long, in spite of actually trying to do that, one of the initial courses, just to keep myself in tune with the CA and the CFA course, I had taken up subsequent to the entire story. But my question coming back to Yasaswy was that what was that one key characteristics of Yasaswy, other than getting up after failing and experimenting that you have mentioned very eloquently now, that is actually captured in the flow of his life story, which includes his bringing up, including the way he handled policy and the vision that he created for ICFAI, which later on got extended into a complete university, which includes business school, as well as I think the latest school that started is architecture as well, if I'm not wrong, and engineering school. So
It was
what
there.
was that overarching vision that was there that Yasaswy worked with, which allowed him to come here?
Okay, I'll tell you briefly. Let me attempt this. Then you can add, please. Once in Bangalore, he held a big session for all the internal leaders. The leaders were roughly around 60 or 70. And in that, he made a big presentation that was epoch-making presentation. He told us what is the vision of ICFAI and what is in his mind. He said that institutions are built to last, like an institution like Oxford, which is a 1,000-year-old institution. The institutions that you build should be built for such a long vision, and it has to serve generations after generations. You will study there, your children will study there, your grandchildren and your great-grandchildren will also study there. And then it will continue to serve its purpose for which it was created, and its commitment to society will live longer. So if you are a man in a hurry, don't get into education. So that was his overarching vision. Second point is that N.J. Yasaswy and his qualities of, I'm using Telugu here, pardon me, but I have not found any equivalent. Writers like Mr. Pattabhi should help me. In Telugu there is a saying, ఆవలిస్తే పేగులు లెక్క పెడతారని, ఆవలించకుండానే పేగులు లెక్క పెట్టే వ్యక్తి ఎన్జే యశస్వి గారు. In English, I don't know how you say that.
No, I think when you open your mouth, you will know everything about him, the person. This man, Yasaswy, without the opposite person opening his mouth, he could read everything about him.
Okay, pretty close.
You can yawn.
No,
Listen to yawn.
I don't want to add anything except to tell you what Mr. Yasaswy once said. He once told me that in hindsight, everything looks like a great, well planned out strategy. Success is never about a great, well planned out strategy. You take one step, it works, doesn't work, you go to the next step, etc. When a series of steps work very well, the media hypes up, says, oh, there was a great strategy around. I think that was, to me, that was very profound. It would have been very easy of him to have said, everything is thought out, you must have a 10-year plan, etc., etc. He actually went the other way around, and with me, that statement of his has stayed.
Yeah, that
Question. Okay.
Yeah,
You'll
this
have
lady
to,
here,
You'll have
yeah.
to deal with the organizers. They are getting ready to throw us off stage.
Yeah, this lady here, you can stand up and ask. Yeah. You. Yeah.
I just want to say that I am a alumni of ICFAI. Okay.
Oh, big round of applause.
So I have seen the journey myself. Okay. Today I'm a speaker here at the Hub. I had a session upstairs like about an hour back, And the things that we were talking about, Mr. Yasaswy, these are few things that we're taught while we are in ICFAI. We've been taught how to deal a failure. We've been taught how to raise after you've fallen down. So few of these interesting things that I hear about him, I think I've experienced that while I've been in college. So nothing can go wrong in things that have been planned ahead. Like, see tomorrow is what we're saying. The question that you asked, sir, how AI will impact, AI will not break the foundation that has been found, what we have built. I think it'll just add a cherry on the cake. So that's the kind of education, that's the kind of foundation that we have built in ICFAI. And I think everywhere that I go, I meet an ICFAI person, and I don't know that he or she has been passed, but while we keep conversating, we understand.
You have a question or you're answering our question?
No, I'm just saying that these things that we've heard, I think it's just behind me, and I think it's just flowing around. I just wanted to share an experience, though.
Thank you.
Thanks for the part for us. Yeah. Any more questions? Otherwise, what time we have, we'll close otherwise. One last question, please. You just, yeah.
Benedict, relax. Ho gaya.
Sudhakar sir is one of us. I'd like him to facilitate his co-authors and Mr. Somasekhar with a token of gift.